Round number 4 for the 2020 International GT Open, the 15th running of the championship, brings us back to where it all started in 2006 with the very first race here at Monza. This round number 4 of the season, this officially kicks off the second half of the championship. What a place it is to come, what a view that is looking down the start-finish straight, and not a bad view of that car either, the number 72, the Optimum Motorsport car. But we've had 3 rounds, down 3 more to go. Last time now we were at the Red Bull Ring, and the Red Bull Ring, fantastic racing as ever it treated round there, and it's just made things in the championship even closer. All 3 classes very, very close, particularly between the top 2 in each class. There is JP Motorsport. You see the cars there getting themselves ready to go. That is the car of Florian Schultz and Jens Liebhauser, who are leading in the AM class. And then we have Christian Klein and Patrick Kaprinski, who are leading the Pro-Am class as well. Now we can see one of the Teo Martin Motorsport cars. They bring an extra car with them. But let's just quickly run through where we are as we get to the second half of the season. So overall, your championship leaders in Pro are Enrique Chavez and Miguel Ramos. They have 65 points. Second place is Louis Pret and Vincent Abril, who are trying to close them down. And third, well, they only went and won the 24 Hour of Le Mans. It's, of course, Sally Ulick and Charlie Eastwood, history makers, the pair of them. Sally becoming the first ever Turkish winner of the 24 Hour of Le Mans. They won the GTE AM class. Charlie Eastwood became the first Northern Irishman to win the event in 10 years since Johnny Kane back in 2010. And they were, the TF Sport team were the first customer car for Aston Martin to win a European Le Mans Series event. So congratulations to both TF Sport, to Sally Ulick, to Charlie Eastwood as well. All 3 of them doing an absolutely fantastic job. And that came off the back of a lot of hard work. And I do hope that their form that they were showing in this championship was certainly a factor in helping them go and win that 24 Hour of Le Mans event. They were doing so well in the World Endurance Championship as well, were Sally and Charlie. And it was fantastic to go and see them get a deserved win. The bright red TF Sport machine, you'll see them going round this weekend. They are third. I'm sure they're going to be absolutely flying with confidence. In Pro-Am, it is Christian Klein, Patrick Kaprinski. We saw their car just a little while ago. They are joint championship leaders with Marcelo Hahn in the Teo Martin Motorsport number 16 car. He has Alan Coder alongside him. And then in the AM class, it is Florian Schultz and Jens Liebhauser, who lead by just 4 points ahead of the AKM Motorsport machine of Alexander Moiseev and Alexei Nezov. Well, they can see the 2 Ferraris. If there's any round that they want to win, it's going to be this one, isn't it? So let's just run through some of the guys we have out there. Of course, we've got the Optimum Motorsport and the number 7 of Brendan Irie and Ollie Milroy. Now there you can see one of the leaders in the GT Cup Open Europe Series, which is, you can see just coming down towards the second Lesmo, the number 51 there of Aldo Vestante. Now he sits 4 points back from Nicky Lutweiler, does Aldo Vestante, so we'll see how he gets on this weekend as they head down towards Ascari. So just over 25 minutes in the session. Championships very close, all 3 classes, and in the GT Cup Open Europe class as well. Nicky Lutweiler leading Aldo Vestante by just 4 points. So 4 different classes to watch on track together, and 4 different championships which sit very closely. But we are at Monza, always a fantastic place to come to. As we said before, this is the place where this championship all started back in 2006. Now, some drivers that are here, that won here last year, the likes of Fabrizio Crestani and Miguel Ramos, Enrique Chavez, Marcelo Hahn and Alan Coder likewise. We must now mention the Bentleys, which are back with us. Team Lazarus, unfortunately, weren't with us at the last round, but they are back. And I think, in a way, it's going to sound weird me saying this, but it might have been a good break for them, because they can now wipe the slate clean, essentially, go into the second half as if this is the start of the season from them, because they have the number 28, which is yet to finish the race, and the number 26 with a best result of 4th. In the number 26 is Crestani. As we said, he had a win here last year alongside Yannick Mettler. And then Stefano Coletti, this round, is now joined by Nico Veroni, young Nico Veroni, who races in the British F3 Championship. So 2 single-seater drivers racing together. I think setup-wise, that might work just well for them. Another new car for this one, we have AKM Motorsport bringing in Lorenzo Ferrari and Marco Antonelli. And we also, so that's young Lorenzo Ferrari coming up from the Italian GT Championship, raced Italian F4 last year. He's racing alongside the team boss of Marco Antonelli, who's 56 years old, so a bit of an age difference between those guys. Lorenzo Ferrari only very young. Then the other new car for this round is the Teo Martin Motorsport number 57. Bar Baruch, the Israeli driver, is looking at doing this championship next year. So he's coming in for a little bit of a play, a little bit of a tester this round, and he's going to have experience alongside him in Christian Hahn. But joining me in the commentary box is Elliot Wood as ever. Elliot, Red Bull Ring, what did you make of it?
There was a lot of action. Track limits was, of course, an issue with so few corners and, you know, so many cars to fit them in. We did have some pretty tasty action between between the marks. A lot of McLaren drivers weren't working with each other. We saw the Aston Martins as well, as a Ferrari skips across the gravel slightly, coming out the chicane. And yeah, overall it was a very good weekend for the racing, and it's almost opened up the title picture a bit more coming to Monza, because we kind of knew who were the front runners prior to the Red Bull Ring. At Red Bull Ring, we actually saw kind of a new order appear. And Monza's kind of a similar circuit, I'd say, with a lot of straights. So yeah, we may see similar results to last time out.
Indeed, we might. So there you can see one of the Ferraris now. Well, that's a car that's going to want to win round here this weekend, isn't it? You can see the Ferrari there just making its way now through the Ascari chicane. This is the number 17 we are watching of Louis Pret and Vincent Abriel, flashing the lights immediately to one of the GT Cup cars just ahead there, and that is Luis Silva, the Portuguese driver, in the number 60. But I'd say far enough ahead to not need to worry about that as they now come around the final corner. Might even pick up a bit of a tow here, will Vincent Abriel, as they go across the line. And Vincent Abriel across the line, can he improve? Goes up to second place so far. So he is one of the drivers, he and Louis Pret, they're in the fight for the championship. Let's have a watch. Oh, just a little bit of curb there, helping them get round. I mean, that first chicane, the right-hander is all about just keeping over to the right, isn't it? And then releasing the car through the left. But what we did find now is we got three cars in the fight for the championship in the pro class. One of them just coming off the back of winning the 24-hour of Le Mans. But Louis Pret and Vincent Abriel, I mean, in the Ferrari, this is the place where they're going to want to win. It's going to be around here, of course, the Monza circuit.
It has to be a circuit that does suit the car, of course. You know, you can't just win by being local.
No, well, I was going to say, speaking of that, at the top of the field, we got one of the Bentleys, and I think just on cue, we are now going to look at Yannick Mettler. They weren't at the last round, which unfortunately it was a shame not to see them there. However, maybe it was for the best. You know, maybe they've had a chance now to have a little bit of a break. They can just come in and go, this is the start of our season now. I mean, as we say that, Crestani and Mettler, they've had, you know, they've shown good pace, finishing fourth. Stefano Coletti likewise, although he hasn't finished a race. We go back to the very first race of the season where he was turned round at the penultimate corner. But surely the Bentley, this is going to be a place that suits them. And in terms of a handicap, they're going to be carrying absolutely nothing, aren't they? So they could be on for a victory this weekend.
Yeah, and this is a car that probably doesn't work well with a handicap, especially if it was a weight one. Luckily we have pit stop ones here, because it is already so heavy and so powerful. So with all these straights, it should be a very quick car. But because we've introduced multi-class racing here this weekend with the inclusion of the GT Cup Open Europe Series into International GT Open, it is actually going to make its job harder, because you've got slower traffic that isn't necessarily doing a cool-down lap. They're actually on a flying lap, but they're just so much slower than you that you've got to make sure you catch them at the right point on the circuit. You know, at Le Mans last weekend, Sally Yullock would have been in this position, but obviously you have what is it, like 15 kilometers of that circuit, whereas here it's far shorter, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to time things, and there's going to be a lot of communication with the pit wall to make sure that those timings are done right. As we see across the line, is currently still in provisional pole, 1 minute 47.047.
As he is, well, you spoke about last weekend. Let's just remind you of who finished where in terms of your top three in the pro class. So taking the win Enrique Chavez and Miguel Ramos. That was their first win of the season, having taken a number of podiums over the first 2 rounds. They went and won in race 1. Finishing in second place was the car of Marcelo Hahn, and in third was the KTM of Callum McLeod and Sam DeHaan. They finished in third place after a penalty. And then taking the win in race 2, it was their second win of the season. It was Sally Ulick and Charlie Eastwood taking that win, followed of course the victory at Le Mans. Finishing second was Louis Pret and Vincent Abriel. And third was Christian Klein and Patrick Kaprinski, which was their second overall podium of the season after they took the race win back at the opening round. In terms of your Pro-Am class, your winners, well, we had Marcelo Hahn win the first race, along with Fran Moreda, the returning Fran Moreda, second, and winning the second race was Christian Klein and Patrick Kaprinski. Podium finishes included the likes of McLeod and DeHaan, Ortelli also on the podium as well, and then Nick Moss and Fran Moreda, others who finished on the podium.
And we're seeing our championship leader, Miguel Ramos, on screen now. He was very quick in the first sector, actually got held up by the GT Cup Open car of Luis Silva in the second sector, which means overall, although he did get past him, his lap time isn't an improvement. I think Ramos and Chavez were kind of the best combination of drivers at the Red Bull Ring. A lot of charging up the order because of the success penalties, but overall they didn't get the results that TF Sport was able to get.
No, they didn't. In terms of AM, the wins were shared by Schultz and Lieshauber, Moiseev and Nezov, and an incredibly tight battle between those two after the disappointing result at the second race in Paul Ricard for Schultz and Jens Liebhauser, third time lucky. They've managed to close that gap. So where are we in terms of qualifying? We're getting towards the halfway stage. I think it's about time we paid attention to what's going on. Yannick Mettler leads the way by 200ths of a second over Vincent Abriel. Joe Osborne is in third place. Then we have Ramos, Milroy, Coletti. I say Coletti. Liebhauser is now 6th. Coletti next in is Barrich, Hahn and Moiseev. Negro 11th. And in terms of GT Cup Open, it is Aldo Vestante who leads from Manel Cercada. That's second, leading third in the championship. Then we have Luis Silva. We do have some drivers yet to come out. One of those was Sally Ulick. He's just come out now and set his first time, and he's gone immediately up to 10th place. But Miguel Ramos, we're watching him, the number 59 on a flyer. He's gone personal best through the second sector. He set a fastest first sector, and Miguel Ramos looking to take the double here. He won here on Saturday last year, but it seems to be slowing, and well,
going into the pits.
Confusingly, he's come into the pits. So there we go. Miguel Ramos didn't want the best out of the time. Something clearly happened. You know, maybe he made a mistake for Ascari.
Potentially, it's a sensible option because we do have 17 cars in this session, and there are currently, well, there were 12 on track. So if he knew maybe on his next lap he was going to get compromised,
then yeah,
team had told him, don't worry.
At the end of the day, we're sat here, they're down there for a reason. Yeah, clearly he saw something. Well, here we go. This is our chance to talk even more about this. This is Aldo Vestante ahead, but there's the winning car from Le Mans, and Sally Ulick in the car for them at the moment.
And Vestante could be the key driver this weekend, because in free practice he was 4 seconds off the slowest of the, and you can see here the speed differential just isn't quite enough between the fastest of the GT Cup Open cars and the slowest, or kind of the mid-range of the GT Open cars for overtakes to be easy, apart from maybe going into the first chicane. And Vestante, if he's fighting for position in his own classification, he doesn't want to let cars past. And in a qualifying session as well, you're not actually in a race. There's no obligation to let these higher class cars go past him. So he could cause a lot of trouble this weekend just by being, as fast as he can.
Yeah, but it's incredibly close in all classes. You said 6 points between the top 3 in GT Cup Open, 8 between the top 3 in Pro, in AM 4 between the top 2, and they're joint in Pro-Am. It's going to be a really, really exciting weekend. And this is where it all started 15 years ago. Back in 2006, we came here. It absolutely poured with rain, apparently. So I was told this morning. And 2006, we were told as well, weren't we? Was it a Dodge Viper?
Yeah, Dodge Viper, because we had the GTS class and we had so basically the GT2 of its day and the GT3 of its day.
Yes, Dodge Viper won that year. What is going to win this year? We'll find out over the next couple of days, and really excited to see which ones come out on top. Now, if we look back at last year, the winning car on Sunday was the McLaren. The Teo Martin team actually won in both classes last year on the Sunday. And then on the Saturday it was a Mercedes and a Lamborghini and a Ferrari. Right, here's Aldo Vestante in pit lane. Aldo Vestante, first in class, so far so good. In terms of lap times, he is 1.1 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. So Abriel leading by 7 thousandths from Yannick Mettler. Joe Osborne, the leading Pro-Am car, in third. Miguel Ramos fourth. Ollie Milroy makes it an Optimum Motorsport 1-2. He is fifth overall, second in class. Jens Liebhauser leading Am in sixth. Then it's Coletti, Baruch, Hahn is third in Pro-Am. Then it's Ulick, Kaprinsky, Moiseev is second in Am. Then it's Negro, Vetsani, then we have Vestante, Sakeda, Silva, your GT Cup cars are all together 15th, 16th and 17th. Up to the line, let's see what Sally Ulick can do. He goes to 9th place at 148.358 for him. 1.3 seconds off the top. So Sally Ulick, I think we'll be looking for a bit of improvement there, but often the TF Sport cars, it's been in the races and they've been the team that have got better as the weekend's gone on, rather than reverse that and be a team that starts strong and then, you know, loses pace. Yeah,
and they've kind of measured it right with the success penalties as well. They haven't gone too successful straight out the gate, so they can then be more competitive later in the weekend and in the next round as well. Although, you know, surely winning Le Mans, I would think you kind of deserve a success penalty for that, given, you know, you've won the most important endurance GT race of them all.
And Sally Ulick still might be hungover, you know. I mean, you'd be celebrating pretty hard, right, if you've just won Le Mans. Wow.
Yeah. Well, in fact, some of these drivers, well, all these drivers are here, but some of them who aren't here are doing another 24-hour race this weekend.
Yes,
over
of course,
in Germany.
there is another one, yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but yes, there is another 24-hour race going on. But the biggest of them all, Sally Ulick and Charlie Eastwood, won that one, and into Ascari we go. They're getting quicker on this lap. Here comes the Aston Martin now through Ascari. In terms of lap time, they need to find 1.3 seconds. A second would put them into the top 5. So close. It's only 2.5 tenths between your top 4 here as we come down to the final corner. Sally Ulick, we follow him. A lot of the drivers that were in the pits are now making their way back out onto circuit. Round the final corner we come. Sally Ulick, is he going to be able to get himself further up the top 10? He's slowly been moving his way up the order. Is this going to be yet another improvement from the Turkish driver? Up to the line he comes. Yes, 6th place. Now that is a position they would certainly take. 6th place, you can do something good from there. As we now go back to the Teo Martin Motorsport car, and immediately this is Manuel Cerqueda we look at now. He is trying to chase down Aldo Vestante in class. Needs to find 1.1 seconds. Here he comes through second chicane. Manuel Cerqueda. Remember, he was hugely impressive when we were back in Paul Ricard last time out.
The AM class drivers have actually done well, AMCAR and the GT Cup Open Europe drivers have done a brilliant job over these last 2 rounds. It's although these are kind of AM classes, that, you know, they're quality drivers, and they're going to show that this weekend because they're all racing in one race.
Well, GT Cup, essentially where they are, we've talked about, you know, the Pro, the Pro-Am, the AM, that they're halfway through the championship. This is their 3rd of 5 rounds for GT Cup Open, so they'll be halfway through at the end of today, essentially. And last time out, it seems like quite a while ago now, the winners were Manuel Cerqueda won in the first race with Daniel Diaz-Varela, and in the second race it was Aldo Vestante. After that real dramatic start, I don't know if you remember the start of the first race in Paul Ricard, where we had Jean Font and Aldo Vestante basically take each other out through the first corner.
Yeah, it was probably, what, 200 metres that lasted?
Yeah. It's crazy, and here's one of them, yeah, so this is Aldo Vestante, and then he fired his way back through the field to win in the second race. An absolutely fantastic job to come back from that, qualify really well, and then go and win the second race.
And had a long time to repair the damage that kind of these cars received, whereas Nicky Luttweiler, who I can't actually see him in this session. He should be contesting this session in his GT Cup Open Europe car, because he also has a GT Open car, which he kind of damaged at Le Mans last weekend, as far as I'm aware, which is why he can't race it this weekend. As we're following Festante, who is a class leader.
Now, he actually damaged that on formation lap as well.
What? Really?
Yeah, he did. I don't think he'll be happy with me saying that.
A 24-hour race, and he did it before the clock had even started.
Yeah, I think it was quite a big one as well. Now, one car down that I can just see, it's just come out on its outlap. I'm going to draw your attention to the left of screen in 13th place, because RS Racing are here for the first time since 2018. It's really great to see them back. They raced in the championship back in 2018, and they finished 7th overall. And during that year, they scored a win and 4 podiums. One of those podiums was a 2nd place here. So it's really great to see RS Racing here. They've got 2 Italian drivers with them, Daniele Diamato and Alessandro Vezzoni. The latter is the one who is out today. And it's going to be brilliant to see how they get on. They're down in 13th at the moment. And Vezzoni, someone who has conquered the world stage in terms of Ferrari Challenge. Daniele Diamato, another driver who has raced Ferrari Challenge and Italian GT as well. So both hugely experienced in GT racing, having raced on world stage. So back where they belong. I'd say back where they belong. They are where they belong in International GT Open. Currently down in 13th though, so still finding their feet, I believe. But it's really great to see RS Racing here, winners and podium finishers in 2018.
Manuel Cicada has just gone into GT Cup Open Europe pole by 0.215 seconds over Aldo Festante, as we're about to follow Joe Osborne going across the line. This could be an improvement. I don't think it'd bring him up to 2nd place though.
It doesn't, but he goes to pole. So 146.891. Joe Osborne to the top, but this is the car who might just beat that. Miguel Ramos at the top of your screen now, making its way down towards the final corner. Ahead is the leader in the AM class, the number 44, just in the head of picture. That is Jens Liebhauser and Florian Schultz. But the Teo Martin Motorsport McLaren, the car that won here last year in both classes, making its way around the final corner. Miguel Ramos in the chair for them and looking to go to pole position. Championship leaders in your screen. Are they going to go to the top? Let's have a look. Yes, they do. 146.516. Miguel Ramos to the top of the pile. Joe Osborne, although he may not be at the top of the standings overall, he still leads the Pro-Am class. Let's have a look at a replay. I think this is one of the Bentleys, is it? Whoa, there we go. That is not where you're supposed to go, and that's how you make a car disappear. Go through the gravel, cloud of smoke. Where did it go? We go back to the AM. This is the GT Cup car of Luis Silva, 3rd in class, trying to close the gap down and is coming into the pits. So no, I'd say trying to close the gap down, not at the moment, because that's going back into pit lane, isn't it?
For viewers watching at home, I think if you can't tell which car's a GT Cup Open Europe and which GT Open, I think the size of the rear wing is probably the best barometer.
I was going to say the windshield, it just says it across the top, but...
That's true, but if you're looking at the rear end, then I think it's the huge rear wing for GT3 cars and teeny tiny rear wing for GT4 cars.
That's another very good way of saying it, so we know from that angle there which is which. Joe Osborne, the Optimum Motorsport team, they just need a trouble-free weekend, really. I mean, despite that, they're scoring loads of points, but one of them seems to be getting caught up in an instant every single round so far. I think they could do with giving their mechanics a bit of a rest, but Ollie Milroy gone to 3rd place. Both pro drivers are in the car for them so far. So this is Joe Osborne and Ollie Milroy. They're both the pro drivers in the cars, and they are 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, and we got 2 temps covering those two, but our pro pole sitter and 2nd place pro, which is Vincent Abril, who is actually going faster at the moment. There's half a second between these two. We're going to see as he crosses the line.
Oh, look at that.
He improves 0.03 seconds off pole now, so I'll take back what I said. The pro class is incredibly close. There's only 0.003 seconds between them.
Another way of saying that is that's 3,000ths of a second, isn't it, between Ramos and Abril, 45 thousandths between your top 3. Then it's a further 2 tenths back to Ollie Milroy. Yannick Mettler in 5th, the first of the Team Lazarus cars on home soil. Stefano Coletti the other. They're split by Bar Baric, the Israeli driver, And then we have Sally Ulick. This is the number 13 car of Alexei Nezov and Alexander Moseev. Coming through the first chicane. Moseev, the one in the car, they are second in your AM class in the championship. This is out of Estante. Whoops, there we go. Over the curb a little bit too much. That would have been a mistake at the start of Ascari that turned into having to clatter the curb through the final part. Here we go. This is Yannick Mettler in the Bentley. The car which has become my favourite, I have to say. Love the Bentley. Down the straight it goes, and it's gone to 4th place, and it's closed the gap, and it's made 2.5 tenths between your top 5. It's made that gap even closer, just getting a little bit squirrely under braking. But Yannick Mettler collects it all just in time, and through he goes through the first chicane. So far, those guys very impressive today, having a good qualifying session. But we've got a fight on for pole position. There's only 3 thousandths between the top 2. The second of the top 2 making its way through the final corner on your picture. They're second in the championship. It's the number 17 of Abriel making its way up to the start-finish line. So your 2 championship leaders split by 3 thousandths of a second in this qualifying session. The car that sits second now goes to the top, 146.375. But I have a feeling Miguel Ramos is going to immediately beat that. Here comes Miguel Ramos to the start-finish line, 146.530. He does not. He had a poor last sector, and he does not. So Abriel at the moment is on pole position, just ahead of Ramos, Osborne, Mettler, Milroy and Barrett in 6th.
And doing some quick calculations, I think the gap between our top 2 is 54.4 centimetres around this lap.
Right, okay. Back to this, is it again?
Yeah. just to gauge how close these things are at Monza.
I'll get a ruler out, shall I? Yeah, very close. Very, very close. I mean, this is going to be incredibly exciting. Last year around here, the race here was absolutely fantastic. It was where the championship ended. What a dramatic ending was to the championship. It was really fantastic. But we continue to watch Abriel and Ramos. Ramos, I have to tell you, has just set a purple first sector. He is the car in screen, but he looks to be slowing down. Well, it's certainly, unless that's a delayed timing screen, he certainly says to me he'd gone purple, but must have felt he got held up somewhere, and he's backed off on this lap. He'll go for one more at the end of this. We're getting ready to start the final laps of the session. Who is your money on? Well, Barrett will go no further than 7th. He's come into pit lane. There you can see Ramos was purple through the first sector, but slowed up through the second. And
I think the GT Cup Open pole's about to change, because Manuel Cicadas just had his fastest lap deleted, and will have the following lap as well.
Well, we have to draw your attention to that, because there is only 1/10 between 15th overall, 16th overall. The yellow backgrounds to the numbers means they are GT Cup Open, and only 1/10 between them, so incredibly close between Manuel Cerqueda and Aldo Vastante. Where do you watch? This is Jens Liebhauser, who is leading in the AM class. He's making his way around the final corner. He's trying to get himself further up the top 10 overall, up to the start finish line. He comes. Is Jens Liebhauser going to improve? I don't think so, as we go on board now with Stefan Ortelli and Angelo Negro. They had a good round last time as well. Stefan Ortelli and Angelo Negro doing a brilliant job. They finished second in class in the second race last time around. Did a really good job, did Ortelli and Negro. And they're coming out of Ascari now and making their way down towards the final corner. I would like to tell you where we're going, but that screen is blocking up most of the view. This is Manuel Cerqueda leading now. As Elliot did say, he did have a time deleted, and it says the following lap would also be deleted as well. So this lap is basically naught. It's for nothing. It's just to set himself up for another lap.
Yep, so he won't, well, yeah, he might have time to have the opportunity
he'll get
to
one
improve.
more. Yeah, he'll get one more.
So he must have set 2 laps that were good enough for pole, and the quickest one was only 0.008 quicker than the second quickest one.
But he still is being shown as pole.
Yeah.
Still, I think even with those times deleted, it looks like he's still there. So it's down to Vastante to improve. A lot of drivers are in the pits, so drivers who are going to improve includes the likes of Kaprinski, Barrett. Your 2 leaders are in the pits as well.
And Joe Osborne hasn't improved, so I don't think he'll be taking pole if he doesn't go to pits. So Yannick Mettler may be the driver to watch.
Yeah, it's down to Yannick Mettler in the Bentley for Team Lazarus. Here comes Manuel Cerqueda up to the line to start another lap. Hopefully this one will be okay. His last 2 have been deleted. That's because of track limits at the final corner. And now he sets off to try and hold on to that pole position, which Aldo Vastante will be challenging. This is provisional pole sitters, and they're celebrating already. They feel confident that is pole. Vincent Abril takes pole position in the Ferrari. For the time being, let's not forget we've got Joe Osborne and Yannick Mettler and Ollie Milroy all out there, and Sally Ulick is improving on this lap. So Sally Ulick has gone purple, has gone personal best through the first 2 sectors. This is Yannick Mettler going wide, and that is how you make your chances of pole position disappear, basically.
That is a great save at the same time, though, because you know the weight distribution of that Bentley, I'd expect it to just keep on going laterally into the gravel at that speed.
Well, that's a really, Lesmo's a real hard corner, and the second one especially, you got to carry so much speed through there, it kind of tightens on the exit. Here we go then, up to the start-finish line. This is Sally Ulick. He's improving on every lap. Where's this going to put him? Is this going to put him anywhere further up the field? No, it doesn't. Yannick Mettler, we saw that he's been off into the gravel, so he will not improve, or does he? Well, he's gone to pole. Well, that replay must have been from a lap before, because Yannick Mettler has just snatched pole position right at the end of the session. 146.280.
I think
that's got to be.
No,
that,
it may,
was that
it may have actually
Coletti?
been on that lap.
That might have been the other car. That might have been Coletti, because Yannick Mettler. Wow.
No, because Coletti was very quick, and this is confusing. We need to see a whole onboard of that lap.
No, let's just say whatever happened, Yannick Mettler has taken overall pole position for Team Lazarus. And the celebrations are going to be short-lived for the AF Corsa team, because Vincent Abril is now no longer on pole position. Yannick Mettler takes pole position, 146.280, and that is exactly what Team Lazarus needed on home soil as well. Vincent Abril second place, ahead of his championship rival Miguel Ramos. Joe Osborne and Ollie Milroy make it at Optimum Motorsport 1-2 in Pro-Am, and that car on your screen is your lead GT Cup Open Europe car. Manuel Cerceda on pole position in GT Cup Open Europe, ahead of Aldo Vestante. And in terms of AM, it is Jens Liebhauser who is your quickest.
But Jens Liebhauser has received a reprimand for crossing the white line at pit exit.
Oh dear. Well, let's go through the full order then at what was a very confusing end to the session. Yannick Mettler takes pole position. What a lap right at the end of the session, and the last 2 sectors in particular were incredibly quick. 146.280. Vincent Abril second, Miguel Ramos in third, Joe Osborne fourth, then it was Ollie Milroy, Sally Ulick sixth, Stefano Coletti now one to watch in seventh, as that car clearly has the place. Bar Barrich on his first race in the championship, he'll be happy with eighth. Then it's your lead AM car of Jens Liebhauser. Marcelo Hahn will be slightly disappointed, I think, to be down in 10th place, considering he's second in the championship Pro-Am. Then it's Koprinski in 11th, Mosiv in 12th, Vetzoni on RS Racing to return to the championship 13th, Angelo Negro 14th, and then in GT Cup Open Europe, Manuel Cerceda takes the head of the field ahead of Aldo Vestante and Luis Silva. Wow. What a fantastic qualifying session that was. Let's go and hear, first of all, from Manuel Cerceda.
This means something, because Monza is Monza.
Yeah, obviously, P1 is always something special, and even more special in Monza, which not only for the history behind the track, but also because it's one of my favorite tracks for sure in Europe.
And the Audi, perfect car for this track, for this power track.
Yes, our car is a very heavy car, and all the tracks which is stop and go, it penalizes a lot the performance of our car. But here in Monza, with long straights, things are much easier. Also, temperature here is a bit cooler than the summer in August races. So yeah, so far so good. We'll see.
Well done, and all the best for later. Thank you.
Thank you to you. Bye-bye.
And thank you to Manuel Cerceda for speaking to us as ever. Pole position in class. What a fantastic result. So top 3 in GT Cup Open Europe. Luis Silva is third place. Then in second place in class is going to be the number 51 of Aldo Vestante. Only a 10th behind this man, which is Manuel Cerceda, who we did just hear from. Manuel Cerceda takes pole position in class. Brilliant result for him. There is the man who's going to be starting directly alongside him. Aldo Vestante will be chasing him down. And Aldo Vestante will look to see if he can take the fight to Manos Akeda after that qualifying session. Hugely excited for the race. Overall, in terms of your top, let's see, top 4, there's only 2 tenths between them. So it's going to be a very close race. Right, let's recap your top 3 then in International GT Open qualifying here at round 4. Miguel Ramos will start 3rd place for the first race later on today. Starting in 2nd, the man who's chasing him down in the championship, Vincent Abril, but taking pole position on the final lap of the session. And would have been despite off as well was this car here, the number 26 of Yannick Mettler for Team Lazarus, having missed the last round. They come into this and they will start on pole position. Let's go and hear from Yannick Mettler now.
Yannick Mettler, pole position at Monza, very last minute. That's the best pole position always.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, after all the work the team has put in the last few races, and we had a few hard ones, a few tough days, but now I really wanted to get this pole position for them. And we saw yesterday we have the speed, we have a really competitive car, and it was just a matter of putting it together. So I'm really happy I managed to do it for the team.
Of course, Monza is Monza, and probably your car one of the best here in a track like that.
Yeah, I think it definitely favors. Of course, also you have more pressure then because you need to do it, and that's why I'm really happy we could do it today. It was very close from what I saw, but great battle, and yeah, a lot of fun.
Well done, and all the best for later.
Thank you.
We'll find out how Yannick Mettler will get on later. The first race is going to be at 15 minutes past 2 local time here in Monza. 70-minute race as ever. We look forward to seeing you then.